Hi. Uh, it's been a while since we've been on Instagram and Facebook, so I thought we'd do a little bit. Uh, Many of you remember when we did Olga, my patient care coordinator, and many of you have been in to see her and talk to her. But let's take a look at Olga's pre and post-op pictures, and you can see there's a nice difference. And one of the things that makes this huge difference and putting everything in perspective is the cheek. Most surgeons don't do the cheek, but even with a deep plane facelift, the lifting of the cheek will only last a year or two. And that's been written up by many people, including the person who founded the deep plane lift, Sam Hammer, wrote about the cheek as a problem, and he came up with his own way of doing this. But we like to lift the cheek, and it gives a natural look. So a year later, we talked about Olga before, almost a year ago on Instagram. So what we'd like to do is show you over a year later. So if you could just take a look at Olga here, she's right here. But can you see how the cheeks are up now and they're not falling down? That falling down of the cheeks, which is held up by ligaments that go from the cheek area, the cheekbone to the cheek fat pad, and hold that up. So what we'd like to do is give you a little talk on lifting the cheek for a natural look. We do this for for all of our deep plane facelifts that we do. And if I do a revision facelift from another surgeon, it's usually to do a cheek lift because that wasn't done in the first place. And the surgeon did a great job on the face otherwise. So let's take a look at a little talk on this. And we'd like to talk about lifting the cheek for a natural look. You can see the cheek and how the cheek fat pad, and there are about 5 of them actually, is held up by ligaments, and those ligaments, as we move our mouth and jaw and everything, sort of fall downward. And you can see how that makes the fold that goes from the nose to the mouth and the mouth to the chin really deep. So if we lift this area, we can really make everything look better and younger without making someone look different and facelifted. So we've devised over 30 years ago almost, and 20 years ago solidified it, a way just with a needle and thread to pick up the cheek. This was actually featured on Good Morning America, and we did a live show there. But basically, we have 2 ways of lifting that cheek, and you can see through little needle holes in the line that goes to the cheek, just like you draw blood from a needle, we pass threads that pick that cheek fat pad up. And we do that along the lining of the bone through a little incision, as you can see up here. And this is important because once you do it along the lining of the bone, it lasts for a long period of time. The other way to do it is with endotynes, and this is a little more elaborate procedure, and I don't think works any better. We followed both of these, and we've published textbook chapters and articles on it on infinitum, and really made the point and followed people and found out that this cheek lifting really makes a difference. So let's just look at a few. You can see how this cheek has fallen, and this is just a cheek lift, nothing else. And what we're doing is restoring this OG curve, this convexity that goes into a concavity. And here we can see it, everything's flat, but when we lift things, it restores the youth and vigor to the face. And another example of this. This lady was a model and actually was on the back page of one of my journals as having a cheek implant from a cheek implant company, but I got to call them and say, that's a lovely model, but she just had a cheek lift. So you can see how the cheek is restored. Doesn't look facelifted, doesn't look abnormal. It just puts the cheek fat pad back to where it was when you were younger. And that's about all it can do, is just put that cheek fat pad back. Did you lose a little volume? Well, mostly the volume just fell. And you can see how this gives that sad, mad, tired look, and how picking it up, that cheek fat pad, and elevating it, both hides the bag under the eye and really lifts it to a more natural looking rested position. And again, you can see that here, how that distance from here, the eyelashes down to where the eyelid starts, is picked up. It is diminished, this distance, as that cheek is picked up and reattached. And this is with a facelift, but with a mid facelift as well, and you can see again how the distance between the eyelash and the eyelid is diminished as we pick things up and put it in a natural position. Again with a facelift, so if you're young or a little older, this lady is actually 74 in this picture, so you can see that picking that cheek up along with a facelift, a deep plane facelift, really makes a difference. But if you just do the deep plane facelift, you're not going to get this type of result. And again, an 80-year-old, and you can tell how this distance is diminished. And yes, we've done a deep plane facelift, but bringing those cheeks up gives it a natural look that looks young and full of vigor. And again, you can see how with a facelift, a deep plane facelift, and a cheek lift, everything picks up and makes a natural looking appearance. And we have many more of these, so come in or call us at 805-687-6408, 1-800-423-8627, or go to gregorykeller.com, that's gregorykeller.com, and give us a call. And if you'd like, talk to Olga, and she can set you up with a consultation, and we can do those either remotely on Zoom, a protected Zoom, or in person. So give us a call. Love to talk to you more about picking up the cheek and how it can make you look young and natural.